the competition is coming to an end. I am the last contestant. So I'm gonna make some trail bread, and then Morgan's gonna judge it, and we're gonna see just who is the best brother at cooking on the trail. You're watching Trail Hacks. Trail bread is one of my favorite things to make while on the trail. I think Morgan's gonna really appreciate this because after a long day of hiking, you just want something that's delicious and salty and savory and fills your stomach. And that's exactly what trail bread does. So I'm gonna get started here. The first step is to add 2.5 cups of flour to your bowl. Here we go. This should be enough to feed all 4 of us boys. Step number 2 is to add 1 teaspoon of salt and whatever else you happen to have in your counter at the time. So I had some smoked paprika and chili flakes, so I just put some of that in here as well. Oh, and that's gonna add all that flavor to the bread. Yum. I have 1 teaspoon of sugar here. I'm gonna add that as well. Now for the most important ingredient. There's a little bit there, but this is yeast. And this is what's gonna make the bread nice and light and fluffy. Really, really important ingredient. What's crazy about yeast is actually it's a living organism. And so in a little bit, using some warm water, I'm gonna wake it up. And it's gonna get through all the flour and all the dough, and it's gonna make it rise and make it really light and fluffy. There we go, that's all of my dry ingredients. So after you've stirred up all the dry ingredients, we're gonna go on to the wet ingredients. And to start with, add 2 tablespoons of oil. And then you're gonna stir it up until it gets all clumpy. Now we just need 1 more ingredient, some warm water. So I'm gonna head over to the fireplace and heat myself up some water. I have about a cupful left in my water bottle, and it's just what you need. You need 1 cup of water. So I'm gonna heat that up. Really, really important, and this is where it's kind of touch and go. If the water's too cold, it won't wake up the yeast to have that rising action. But if it's too hot, it'll actually kill the yeast. So it's like fine balance of having the water kind of warm to the touch. If you want to be able to stick your finger in it and not burn yourself, but it'd be nice and warm. All right, I think it's done. Perfect. It's crazy because just 1 little bit of yeast leavens the whole loaf, and it spreads its way throughout all of the dough and makes it rise. It's an amazing thing. But it's kind of like an example of what sin is to us. We may think that, oh man, just that sin I did, just a little thing, doesn't affect anybody. But just a little bit of sin can actually affect our whole being, and it corrupts us, and it separates us from God. But thankfully, through what Christ did on the cross, is that he took the punishment that we deserve for our sin, and he bore it himself. And he took that punishment himself and died in our place. And then if we have faith in God and trust in Jesus as our one way of salvation, then he promised us to make us like new, and that we can be like born again, so that we don't have to have our sin affect us anymore. We be like new creations. So that's super exciting. It's a great hope that all of us as believers have. All right, there we go. Look at that beautiful bit of bread. So now we're gonna wait, let it rise. Let the yeast start to wake up, do its thing, and make the bread all beautiful and fluffy. So I'll let that sit there for about, say 15 minutes. All right, this is what I'm gonna cook my bread on. So you wanna find a stick, like something that you would wanna roast a marshmallow on. Man, it's starting to get dark, storm's coming. We've been cooking all day for this competition, so I need to finish this up. The dough is risen, it's beautiful. I'm gonna start making the trail bread. So grab a chunk, start rolling it out until it's kind of a skinny, long, worm-like looking thing. I think I need a little something extra just to get it across the finish line. So actually I brought some bacon with me. I'm gonna wrap that with my trail bread, and it's gonna have all the delicious juices sinking in and give a little bit of protein. And I think it's just gonna make me have that final bit of goodness that's gonna help me win. There we go. Are you believing how good that looks? Wow. All right, almost to the finish line. Now I just have to make sure this doesn't burn. Make sure not to put the bread on the open flame. Otherwise the outside will get nice and crispy, but the inside will still be raw and doughy. So you kind of just put it off to the side where it's still hot, but it's just not on the open flame where it's gonna burn. This is bad, it's starting to rain. It's gonna drench the fire in a few seconds. But this is the true test of an outdoor cooker. Can you cook in the elements? So I'm still going strong, we're gonna make this happen. I think it's good enough. All right, let's see what Morgan thinks. Sorry it's raining, Morgan.
So
glad you waited though. Dude, this is trail bread mixed with delicious bacon. And
wow.
It's piping hot, so be careful.
Whoa.
Good?
Damn. The warm, comforting bread. I'm tasting the spices. You got some red pepper flakes.
Is it too spicy?
No, it's perfect. And that bacon. Oh, it's
touch.
magical. Kian,
Thank you.
That is awesome. Well guys, thanks for showing off your trail cooking skills. I was really impressed. You guys all are quite talented.
Thank you.
This was hard for me to decide. I don't like judging like this, but I'll start with Asher. Your tea, man, was awesome. I loved it.
Ooh, tea.
It was incredibly comforting. It had this like light edge of citrus to it. Very good. Hudson, yeah, your feast pit was incredible. I love the proteins, mixing them with the vegetables.
Dude.
It was really good. Yours, unfortunately, was not quite perfectly executed. There's a little bit of raw meat involved. I'm not a huge fan of that. So, unfortunately, that took up a couple points for me. Kian, your trail bread, I just ended with that. It was incredible. It was so light and fluffy. The yeast had worked its way through that dough. It had risen perfectly, and then intertwined with that bacon. It was so good. So,
nice, Kian.
With that being said, you guys all are amazing trail chefs. Proud of you, but I think the winner is Kian. Kian, that trail bread. That was excellent.
Good job, boys. Good job, guys.
Guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to Trail Hacks. Join a troop, and if you like the Wild Brothers, watch our videos through Wild Brothers Productions. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and in the comments below, tell what meal you guys thought was the best out of all the ones. Want to hear your guys' feedback.
Awesome. See you in the next
Catch
trail
you later.
hack.
See you on the trail.